Hello students of Standard 10. Today we are going to study regarding the second chapter, that is fuel wood crisis. Before we move on to the chapter, we must know what is actually fuel wood. It refers to the forest areas where logs of wood or products like sawdust or charcoal or chips, wood pallets and sheets are being considered to be of fuel wood. Basically it is used for your cooking or heating purposes. Now, since they are used widely, you can know that earlier there was no availability of your cylinders or your LPG gases. That time in rural areas also they used to carry logs of wood, and finally they used to cook with the help of burning chulas, and out of that there used to be many more out products, like there used to be release of ash, there used to be release of toxic gases like carbon dioxide and other chemicals, including your smoke, aerosol particles, etc., which was harmful for health. So here comes the main topic, that is what are the effects if we keep on burning the fuel wood. It is having two effects. The first one is your effect on health, and the second one is your effect on environment. Moving on to the effect of burning fuel wood on the health of rural women. The first one is irritation. That means that wood combustion for a longer period of time can cause irritation in your eyes because of release of toxic gases. It can lead to cancer of lungs because wood combustion can produce toxic and carcinogenic substances. Carcinogenic means cancer causing substances. There are particulate of air pollution which releases or which contributes to human health problems and increases the chances of asthma and heart diseases, and also it causes redness of eyes and irritation which may cause cataract in the long run. So these occur as a short question, like what is the effect of burning fuel wood on the health of rural women, especially in the case of women living in village areas. The next one is what is the effect of burning fuel wood on the environment. The first one is habitat destruction. This means whenever you are cutting down the forest for the logs of woods, it affects the biodiversity, that is flora and fauna. So the heavy removal of wood from forest causes habitat destruction and biodiversity loss. At the same time, it also causes global warming because deforestation for fuel wood causes soil erosion, which also causes release of greenhouse gases by burning of wood, which releases carbon dioxide. So when carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere, it results in global warming, and also it causes release of toxic greenhouse gases if there is insufficient oxygen in the atmosphere, causing inefficient or incomplete combustion of wood. After that, it also causes acid rain because oxides of sulfur like sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, oxides of nitrogen, these are all released into the atmosphere, causing acid rain mixing with water vapor. After that, it also causes reduced of rainfall, which disturbs the water cycle, and at the same time decrease in the groundwater level. It also causes flood in certain cases as there are no trees to soak or help in percolation of water. It also decreases the groundwater level because of the absence of trees. It also decreases the soil moisture, and last is scarcity of forest products deteriorates the economy of the people living on it, who are basically dependent on the selling of forest based products. Now moving to the next portion, we are having the alternatives to timber. Now since there is a threat to the wildlife, at the same time there is a threat to the timber or forest based products, we must find out alternates to it. So alternates in case of first one fuel wood, we can go for dung cakes, that is using efficient wood stoves which uses dried woods or animal dung cakes. We can go for biogas, which is an effective alternate method because we can use the residue or remnant of the vegetables or organic waste as your biogas in the agricultural fields. We can go for solar cookers, which are efficient and they need to be highly encouraged and they need to be highly used since it has got a great usage. We can use cow dung pellets made up of sawdust waste released from many more domestic industries, and rice husk pellets can be used. You can use kerosene that are provided by the government, which reduces the usage of fuel wood, and also we can make pellets made up of oil cakes, corn, wheat baggies, etc. So these are the alternates of timber used as fuel wood. Now these questions comes as short questions of either 2 marks or 3 marks. So accordingly you have to learn them. In the case of building industries, woods are used in frames or your doors and windows. So instead of your wood, we can go for prefabricated concretes, which are nowadays used widely in foreign countries. We can go for polyvinyl doors or metal frames, which are strong enough and more durable compared to your wood. Coming to railways, earlier there used to be your wooden slippers. Now we can replace them with concrete slippers, which are a better option and are long lasting in nature. Instead of furniture made up of wood, we can go for steel or plastic. I know plastic is to be banned, but then also we can go for such plastic which are less harmful, at the same time which can be recycled again and again, and durable one. We can go for fixed sitting concretes rather than plastic. We can go for eco-friendly materials available in the markets. And the last one is paper. Nowadays we know the papers are being recycled at a high rate, so we can go for natural ways or production of cellulose in order to recycle the paper. These are the alternatives to timber, which comes as a short question. The next comes, the topic is deforestation. Now what are the causes of deforestation? Deforestation means cutting down of trees for human purposes or maybe due to natural causes. The first purpose is the industrialization. Generally, we know that in order to remove poverty, at the same time in order to increase the products, industries are being made at a rapid rate. Nowadays we are having so many kinds and numerous kinds of industries present in the market. So in that case, what happens? There is conversion of forest into your agricultural land, and then finally they are converted to those lands in where industries are being constructed. Coming to the next one, urbanization. That means day by day people are moving to urban areas in order to search for your jobs or better living conditions. In that case, it grabs the forest and they start encroachment of that particular area. Moving to shifting cultivation, which we studied in the 9th standard, which refers to zooming or your slash and burn agriculture, where people or those nomads come and finally do the cultivation, have their entire productivity, and finally they burn the area and leave that particular place. So that needs to be stopped first of all in order to save the forest. Moving to the mining activities, which leads to clearance of land surfaces and killing of a huge amount of flora and fauna, that needs to be checked, followed by developmental activities like your construction of dams, reservoirs, roads, railways, etc. Those needs to be stopped in order to stop the deforestation. Moving to infrastructure after that, so infrastructure developments like construction of malls or construction of your high buildings or your storage, or at the same time flats and all, they needs to be checked on that, so that enough plantation is done with also construction activities. That should be kept in mind. And the last one is natural causes like forest fires. They generally or accidentally deliberately destroy the forest, and during dry season generally it happens. Recently you had a project that is your forest fires in Australia. You must have come across the various reasons why the forest fires occur. Moving to the next one is your combating deforestation. We are having the first point is afforestation. That is, we need to stop deforestation or cutting down of trees and start plantation in various places with either the help of the government or by self, or in your kitchen garden. Even a small contribution, like if you plant a tree, one single tree in your house also, that does make a difference. So you need to make efforts even at the minute level. So moving to the next one, we can go for community, social or agroforestry, which we will study in detail after this. We should ban zooming or slash and burn agriculture, followed by celebrating Van Mahotsav. You must have seen in our school we have celebrated Van Mahotsav with great pomp and show, where we generally plant the trees, and at the same time you must have seen your seniors doing it. They have planted the trees and also gifted it to your ex-principal, in where the concept of planting trees is generally focused and the importance of trees is being realized. Moving to the last one, that is, we should find out alternatives to deforestation. We should go for alternatives to firewood, timber. At the same time, we should avoid usage of such land in which there is misuse or there is no proper land use pattern, and the roads and construction of dams, railways, industries are done on fertile lands or agricultural lands. So these should be stopped. So coming to the next three portion, which is very, very important, that is community forestry, social forestry and agroforestry. So let's see the term community forestry. Community means a group. Okay, so where the forestry in which the local communities like you and I in our local areas play a significant role in forest management and land use decisions. For example, your house is nearby to a forest, so you know the forest very well, which is the prevailing or which is the best kind of your trees available there, what is the climate, what is the soil texture. These all things are better known to you than anybody else. So in that case, government should take help from you in order to establish a better forest system in that particular area. Okay, so it involves the participation of the local communities, the government bodies and NGOs together in order to develop the models of community forestry. So the first one is your joint forest management, that is JFM, which comes as a long question. You can write it down, and it is important you learn these. Joint forest management, what is it? Definition comes, so you should learn the definition. The joint forest management is a way to combat or stop deforestation where the local communities are involved in planning and conservation programs managed by the government. So since government cannot be 24/7 in that particular area, so it asks the local communities or people living in that particular forest areas to look after the forest, in return in which they also get mutual benefits from the government. So what are the role played by the local communities? The first one, since they are localites, they have the best knowledge of what are the resources present, what kind of trees are present, what kind of animals do you see, what are the kinds of various products that are released by the particular forest. Those things are very known to the localite people or those who are residing in that area. Since the quality of life of these people is totally dependent on that, so they manage and protect the resource very well because they are well known to each and every corner of that particular place. So they know how to conserve and protect the forest area. The third point comes is they very well have the knowledge of traditional methods of conserving the forest. What are the traditional ways of conserving? Should they follow the natural ways of conservation of forest? For example, you know forest is a self-sustaining ecosystem. They don't need any person or any kind of like aid from anybody else in order to sustain. There is humus in the soil, there is proper growth of their microorganisms. At the same time, their soil is fertile itself, and nature generally goes on providing all the necessary conditions in order to sustain the forest. So that should be kept in mind while doing that. And they have the best knowledge of the varieties of trees that are grown in the forest. For example, as I said, that particular area is rich in sal tree or teak tree, or it is famous for any other kind of medicinal plant which it is famous for. And the last one is they can monitor the best changes in the forest that could degrade or destroy the forest. So if there is any variation or is there any threat to the particular forest, they are well known to that. It can be climatic, it can be man-made, or it may be natural. So those kind of things are better known to the localites. Now, what are the advantages of JFM, Joint Forest Management? It comes as a long question. The government and local people work in partnership. Since there is mutual benefit, so there is no conflict of resources or interest. So in that case, the government wants the forest to be continued and the local people want benefits. Since both of them get whatever they want, there is no interest of conflict among the government and the local bodies. The local communities are involved in planning in such a way that there is success 100%. The conservation programs are totally successful when the local communities are involved, since they know the pros and cons of entire procedure that is followed during the conservation programs. Third, it provides employment and source of livelihood to the local people because it provides them firewood, it provides them fodder for the cattle, it provides them herbal medicines, wild berries, and they can sell it in the market and gain their benefit out of it. So that's a plus point for them. And since local people are given the charge, they act as the guardian of the forest and conserve it well. So let me explain how it is. Suppose you are having a very wide amount of your agricultural field in a far off place from your local township. So suppose you are having an area in let us consider in Chandipur area, and there you can't go every day, and you found out that a person is living just side to your agricultural field. So generally you try to make contacts with that particular person and say ki Mr. please help me out, and just look after my agriculture field so that nobody destroys it, or there is no illegal fencing and all. So that person generally builds a healthy relationship with you. You try to have a cordial relationship with them, and finally in return and in favor you give them some sweets, or you invite them for your some like gatherings and all, and in that way some relationship develops. So in that happens what? He becomes a local guardian, and something if illegal happens in your area, he suddenly calls you, Mister, there is some illegal thing going on in your agriculture field, please come and verify. So in that case what happens? You become the owner and he becomes the local guardian and looks after your particular thing. So here also there is mutual benefit. So in that case the local people act as a guardian, which is very important in this case, and they help in improving the resource base, helping in reducing rural poverty, because obviously in forest areas you won't expect like high elite class people to stay there. They will only have farmlands there. So generally rural people or like poor people living in that particular areas, or you can say like those who are staying in your forest areas like Adivasis and all, they generally have their like settlements, or they reside there, and help these all things helps them in reducing the poverty. Moving to the next one, that is social forestry. Social forestry is a definition. This is generally plantation of trees on the roadsides or railways or canal ridges, etc. You must have seen while passing by the roads in dividers or in highways, there are plantation of trees. While going by the railway sides, you will see the trees are planted. These are basically social forestry. What happens here? The local people decides what kind of plantation has to be done, which soil is good for what kind of like cultivation. So these are very necessary that we take local people, we consult with local people in order to get maximum benefit. So moving to the next one, what are the aims and advantages? This comes as a long question. So what will happen if we go for social forestry? First of all, it will reduce the pressure on forest-based products and finally help in conserving them. So there is no more demand of such products. It will meet the needs of the local community, and finally minor forest products which are easily available outside. You don't have to go for deep jungle or forest in order to get those products. It also reduces the poverty by providing employment to the local people. These people can sell flowers, or these can sell certain kind of fruits, etc. in the market and have their daily based earnings. They can develop cottage industries with the help of these forest based products, and finally go for handicrafts which are sold in the market. They can utilize this land according to the productive capacity and finally get the maximum out of it. And it can increase the forest cover or amount of trees by going for plantation of the wastelands or unutilized lands by the government. Sometimes you see barren lands in the roadsides, or you can see over the railway tracks and all. So those places, these people can go for cultivation or plantation of such trees, which will on short term basis give them a huge benefit or product. And the last one is agroforestry. This is very important because it is 3-in-1 forestry. Now what is 3-in-1? This is a place where forestry is done along with tree plantation, that is afforestation, and animal husbandry. That means cultivation of livestock and rearing them. So let us see this diagram. You can find it out. Agroforestry involves agriculture, it involves forestry, it involves livestock. It's a long question on what are the advantages of it. The first one, it generally reduces pressure and finally helps in obtaining timber and non-timber based products. It generally utilizes the farm resources very well. Farm resources means if you are having like agriculture or livestock and it releases manure like cow dung and all, they can be used as manure. So that is utilization of farm resources. It also uses land, manpower, livestock and ecological factors, which is necessary. At the same time, it checks soil erosion, because since trees are present, it will bind the soil and it will not allow the soil to like be blown away by heavy winds. It also is a self-sustaining ecosystem where the entire living structures feeds itself. This means that humans, agricultural forestries, livestock and other fulfill each of their own needs, and finally it sustains on its own. As I was saying, suppose there is a piece of land and it is having integrated farming. So here we are having pisciculture, that is cultivation of fish, followed by here we are having a cow shed where cows are being like reared, and there you are having like cow shed and they give your dairy based products, and at the same time cow dung. Dairy based products can be sold in the market, whereas the cow dung can be used for fertilizer, as a fertilizer or biogas used in your farm or agricultural fields, and then finally the remnants like straws and husks can be used as a fodder or feed for the livestock. So there you can have your sheep or rearing of your goats, etc. in that particular place. And the last one, it provides agricultural waste and trees provide fodder for the livestock, whereas in turn the livestock provides them manure. So vice versa, they all get benefit of their own. So this winds up your chapter, where you know that how much wood is important in our life. So forest is highly essential since it is used widely in our day-to-day life, whether it is medicines, whether it is construction, whether it is your furnitures, or based on the book you are reading or paper. Everything there is involvement of your wood or forest based products. So there we need to take care and protect the forest areas or forest cover to spread greenery, and at the same time save Mother Nature from global warming or your acid rain or your greenhouse effect. Now here some key terms are there. So you need to learn fuel load, biomass, carcinogenic, particulate matter, JFM, biogas, bagasse, joint forest management. Okay, it is repeated twice, so you can cross out one and you can get the other. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can have it in the comment section. That's it. Thank you.